you were not here when you heard your husband's demise?
Yeah, I used to fly with an airline and
Okay.
I was away in Germany. My headspace was all over that day. And even there were just weird issues that had come up. And I called my friend up before I took my flight and I told them that, listen, I told my friend, I said, listen, I don't know what is happening, but I just feel like something very bad is going to happen in my life right now. And I don't know how to stop it. And I don't know what to do. So I'm just like, what do I do? I feel like every emotional pain will at some level come into your physical body. Not I feel, I know it. I mean, it's a proven fact.
Vidya, you've had a roller coaster ride when it comes to your life. Not many people know this, but आपने law की पढ़ाई की, air hostess थी आप. How were you able to do all of this?
I think the only thing I can say is that at that time I didn't believe it when someone told me. But time heals. Hey everyone, this is Vidya Malavade and you are watching me on Bollywood Hungama. Keep watching.
Chak De India comes out and then it's a massive hit, and it's definitely the film of the year that everybody is talking about. How was life post Chak De?
I didn't know whether I was coming or going because I think, so you know what, I watched the first day first show.
Yeah.
And there were about 15-20 people in the theatre. Obviously it was morning or Friday, so, and look, I do my thing. I don't really expect anything to be like this or that or anything because sometimes I feel वो कभी-कभी ना जोर से थप्पड़ ही लग जाता है. तो इसलिए वो expectation ही मत रखो. आपने अपना काम कर लिया ना, बस हो गया. I just remember this conversation that one guy was having while I was leaving. He was ahead of me. Just some random person, I don't know if it was a media person or whatever. He's saying, भाई क्या film है यार. मतलब it's just like वापस आके देखते हैं शाम को or something he just kept saying and I was like somebody liked my film. I was so happy. So that was my reaction. By the evening I don't think there were any seats available anywhere for anyone to watch.
Lovely.
Because my phone just didn't stop ringing and it was I was like, so the whole media of course became a thing that okay, we want to do your interview, okay, we want to, what's Chak De girls, who are these girls? Everywhere we were headlines everywhere. And then I was just like cutting ribbons and opening stores and launching drinks and energy drinks and that was it. And not just me, all of us. And they always wanted like 2 of us together, 3 of us together or whatever. And we just kept doing, it just snowballed into something else. Everybody, I think has seen the film.
Yeah.
And everybody has loved the film. So I just got to see that one morning show, and then after that I just couldn't go back to the theatre and watch it because I did not have the time, or like I just didn't know what to do. I remember going, I was supposed to go to a theatre, like 2-3 of us were supposed to go to a theatre because the organizers or somebody had called us and because they were saying that you'll meet the Chak De girls, but the theatre was so crowded that before we reached the theatre they were like, "Aap wapas chale jao." It was like that. Otherwise it would have gotten probably rowdy or something. And it was just a moment. It was this high, like I don't even know what. And I couldn't believe. I still remember there was this one slightly older lady who I met on the street somewhere, and who just held me. She says, "Vidya Sharma, India." No, I said, "Yeah." He says, "तुमने इंडिया को बचा लिया. तुमने इंडिया को बचा. तुमने इंडिया को जिता लिया." And I'm like, in my head, and she hugged me, and in my head I'm thinking, मैंने कुछ नहीं किया है, जो लिखा था वही हुआ है. But I just realized the impact of a film, what it can do to people.
But that's the beauty of Chak De India. I've realized that जब भी ये national holidays पर especially television पर आती है, if you switch channels and Chak De India comes, you have to watch it because ऐसा लगता है कि last minute पे कुछ भी हो सकता है, पता नहीं सकते. We know the end, but still you want to keep watching it.
Yeah, they were kind of wondering, because the last goal is about saving. It's not hitting the goal.
Definitely.
And I think they had like debates about that for a very long time, and then of course they let it be the way it is, or they wrote it like that. But yeah, and I don't know. I didn't realize while filming it that it might like become this.
Yeah.
Because I don't see today, if you see relevance of films, you don't remember. Forget about names of characters in the film. But but you do not remember even film names after like few months, or months bhi kya, weeks also, I feel. This is something that is 16 years old, and people still remember our names, what our dialogues, and I'm like, पता नहीं कहाँ से मुझे blessing मिला है यार. I always say that Chak De is a blessing that just never stops giving.
Vidya, you've had a roller coaster ride when it comes to your life. Not many people know this, but आपने law की पढ़ाई की, air hostess थी आप, ad films, and from ad films there were films that came into. You also went through a personal loss in your life. Back in 2000. How did you get everything together? I mean, this is not a loss that anybody can, just get up and say, okay, that's it, let's move ahead.
Yeah.
How were you able to do all of this?
I think the only thing I can say is that at that time I didn't believe it when someone told me. But time heals. And I think you just somehow, I feel, need to just keep. It's just one breath at a time, one step at a time. Because, and it's not just me. I know how destroyed I was at that time.
Yeah.
But I don't think anyone is spared. However famous you are, how much ever money you may have, however intelligent or pretty you are, or whatever. I think all of us have to go through the grind.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's, all of us have seen rock bottom at some level or the other. But I don't know. That's why I think मुझे लगता है कि when you have a practice, something like, I think that's the time when yoga came into my life.
Oh.
And I was really seeking and really seeking and waiting for answers, because I was upset, I was angry, I was in a lot of pain. There were so many emotions that I was dealing with at one time, and also fear, because it was, I loved somebody, and it was suddenly time to grow up, because I've had a very
that you were not here when you heard your husband's demise.
Yeah, I used to fly with an airline, and I was away in Germany, and it's weird, because the night before I thought I had a little I don't know, premonition or whatever, and I just had, because something was just going, my headspace was all over that day. And even there were just weird issues that had come up, and I called my friend up before I took my flight, and I told them that, listen, I told my friend, I said, listen, I don't know what is happening, but I just feel like something very bad is going to happen in my life right now, and I don't know how to stop it, and I don't know what to do, so I'm just like, what do I do? And then anyway, I landed into Frankfurt, and before I landed, this had already happened, and it was just, I couldn't believe it. And when my crew supervisor told me in Frankfurt that, you need to go right back because there was a plane crash, and I thought she said it had crash landed, and I thought, okay, so it's landed, so everybody could be okay as well. And I kept thinking that nothing's wrong, everybody's going to be fine, Of course, my husband's fine. And so I was on a flight back, and later I remember, because the pilot who was flying me back from Frankfurt to Mumbai, because I was so sure that it's not possible only that anything can happen to my husband. It's just like we are meant like forever types. Yeah. That I saw only when I saw my parents, because as soon as the door of the aircraft door opened, and when I was getting out, I saw my parents on literally there at the door, and normally nobody would be allowed, right? Now it's even stricter.
Yeah.
Back in the day it wasn't as strict, but they were literally there, and I was like, how are they even allowed inside? What has happened? And I could not. It was strange, because I knew he's very badly hurt because they are there, but I didn't know it would be death. And then when they said he's not, I couldn't believe it for a while. It was just this very strange moment where I kept telling them that I need to see him, because if I touched him, he's going to come alive. It was just, I was in this strange thought thing, and I don't think I cried at all at that time. And I must have landed at some 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning, and I waited at the airport, and I said, no, I have to touch him, so you do whatever you want. I need to meet, I need to see him. And I think the coffin came in again. We are early in the morning at some point, and because I had been a part of that airline as well, Indian Airlines, and I knew everybody there. They took me to the coffin. They almost opened the coffin, and he was obviously in white cloth and stuff, and just opened the coffin in the sense a little bit for me to touch his feet. And he didn't come alive, and that broke me. And then there was just, but I was at some point also aware that my parents are there, that there are the elders in my house who are also completely broken, so I could not cry there, but I had to keep running into the bathroom to keep crying. It was just very...
So you were holding on to the family.
Yeah, because, that's all that there is, family.
I think that being in an industry where you have to every day put up a face, be someone else when it comes to shoot, promote a film, be in front of the camera, it takes a lot. I think hats off to people like you who bring in strength. And may I ask you that what got you slowly and steadily back on your feet? How did you, what comfort you the most?
It's a process. You have to give yourself that time, first of all. And you have to understand, see, if I knew that he's around somewhere, like I had this grouse with God, that there are people in the world who don't want to be together, marriages, this, that, whatever, but you'll keep them together just like that.
Yeah.
And when there are two people who really, really want to be together, like my whole life would be around how can I match my flights with his flights,
right.
so that we are in the same city at the same time. That is all that there was. And I literally felt that my brain had become vacant when he left, because there was nothing else to do. The job that I'm in right now, I carry my work back home because there's always calls to do, there's so much to do. But when you're working as a flight attendant, you finish your job, you go back home, and then you're this other person at home. I mean, just I was missing him, all of that, but I feel like somewhere, which is why yoga probably found me, because I was really looking for answers, which is why I was praying so much. I chant a lot, I pray a lot, and I feel like sometimes prayers really, really, they are heard. They're always heard. And you need to have an anchor or faith in something.
Right.
Whether it could be God, it could be whatever. For me, it's my Shivji. And I feel like at certain times in my life where I've been completely down and out, it's just him that I hold on to, and him that I surrender to completely and always. Which is why when I say that all of us go through our ups and downs, right? And it's life. I mean, if everybody says struggle, 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 but listen, that only tells you that you're alive.
Yeah.
Because there would be no struggle after you're dead. So yeah, like wake up in the morning and start. Take a baby step, literally a baby step, but you need to also mourn what you've lost, and you do that. It took me months, it took me years to finally say that, okay, now I'm letting you go. I'm telling you, at that point it was so bad. Then I read the postmortem report, but there was, I think the injury that he had was broken ribs and a crack on the skull, and I think that's how he went. And my mind was like, I want to know everything that happened.
Yeah.
I want to also know if you thought of me before you left. That they say your life flashes in front of you or whatever. It's just, a weird 25-year-old going through all of this.
Correct.
And I remember I came back to my mom's because they have some ritual that I needed to do here. And I had the postmortem report with me, and I kept thinking about it before I slept in the night, that कैसे हुआ, क्या किधर लगा, क्या हुआ. And I knew that whatever, his skull was hurt or whatever. And because I kept thinking about it, the next morning when I was in my car going to my Masi's house or something, because the puja was there or something, wherever I was, and suddenly my car braked, and there's a man, I think a drunk man, who fell right in front of my car and hurt his head, and he was bleeding from here. And just that, I just couldn't understand why. Probably happened because I asked for it, because I wanted to know. And that's when I shut this chapter and I said, I don't want to know. I don't want to know anything. So, and there were so many such things. There was a time where my sister-in-law dreamt of him, somebody else saw him, a vision of him, this, that, and I was like, I was angry. I was like, why aren't you coming in my dream? Why can't I see you? What is everybody seeing you? Didn't I mean anything? And I remember it was July, so because of the rains or stuff, my bedroom door was very hard to open. And in the middle of the night, and one night, it just opened, and I just felt him come and sleep, and I just said, come and sleep, let's sleep, because I was missing being held by him so much that I would cry, obviously, myself to sleep every night. And that's the time I saw him. I mean, I felt him, and that was probably the only time I kind of felt him after. But yeah, but there was for many years I wasn't ready to let go of him. I would just, every time I'd look at a star in the sky, I would be like, that's you, you know. And it's I don't know. I think it's painful, and I was fighting with God, and I was fighting with myself, and all of that, and then you know. I came back to work.
That you're just telling us right now, I think grief is something that a lot of people shy away from. They don't talk about it. And I'm sure that people who are watching this interview and unfortunately have gone through any kind of a personal loss might just get the strength, also might get the validation that, oh, okay, they can relate to things that you're saying.
I'll tell you what, I can talk about it now.
Yeah.
Because it's been 25 years.
Right.
At that time, it was not. It was difficult, because there was just devastation everywhere.
Were you also going through a lot of, for better choice of words, guilt when you decided to marry again? Were there thoughts going on in your mind?
No. So I think guilt had come because for the longest time I kept thinking, because I told my friend, मेरे साथ कुछ बहुत बुरा होने वाला है, and I can't stop it. And then this happened. That was my guilt. Did I make it? Did I do this? Did I say it? Is that why it happened? That used to keep going on in my mind. And in fact, I also thought that I'll end my life, because I didn't want to live without him, and I was quite sure, because we told each other that we will never live without each other, and he will take me. His promise to me was he will take me with him everywhere he goes.
God.
And that was the thing that I was like, okay, you broke your promise, but I am not, because I am coming to where you are, and that's it. And then you now decide whether you tell me, if you give me a sign that I should not, then I will think about it, but otherwise I'm coming. And I went and I bought the 1,000 tablets from sleeping pills or whatever it is that I could think of at that time, and I said, okay, tonight is the night. And the strangest thing happened. My father came into my room and just had a long, I don't know what he spoke about. I don't remember anything. It's only after that 1 hour he left, and I kept thinking, I said, what is wrong with me? What am I thinking? Why am I being so selfish? He's just lost a son-in-law, and that's really broken him. And now I'm thinking that, oh, I'm going to be this major drama queen and say, I'm also coming with you. Have I even thought of what will happen, what I will leave behind? When a person leaves, he goes. What he leaves behind is just broken people. His parents, his siblings, me, my parents, my siblings, the immediate family. It's just, it's devastation everywhere. So yeah, but like they say, time heals.
Yeah.
I got back to work. I just realized that, okay, now I am the one who's going to be taking care of everyone here. And bit by bit, it kind of gets better. It kind of, like I said, you have faith in somewhere. I remember there were times, there was one time where I just took off and went away for a month and a half, because it was so difficult to be around people that I knew, that I just wanted to be somewhere that nobody knew me. So I went away to an ashram in the south of India in one very corner, and I would sit. And so I feel like every emotional pain will at some level come into your physical body. Not I feel, I know it. I mean, it's a proven fact. And I remember my hips. Today you see me doing these crazy yoga asanas and things like that and get inspired. But I could not sit and get up without pain because I had so much pain in my hips. Your hips are a seat of emotional well-being. So whatever is going through inside, they will at some point hit your hips or your back or whatever. And it was so difficult. I would be wincing in pain. And I went away and I would sit in seawater every evening watching the sun go down. And I'd be crying and crying, just praying for healing. You can do, see, the point is you can run away from everyone or whatever. You can't run away from this. No? It's your mind, first of all. So, but I feel like I say, chanting, I keep telling people chanting and breath work really, really helps you to bring a certain amount of balance in you. And prayer. There's so much energy in just praying. And you don't have to go to a temple to keep doing that, it
shuts all the unnecessary voices in
chatter.
your head also.
Yeah.
Thank you, Vidya. Thank you for sharing a part of your life with us. And thank you for actually, really healing a lot of people with this conversation. I'm 100% sure.
I don't know, I hope so.
We really wish you the best. It takes a lot to keep searching for the light at the tunnel, and you managed to do it. And for all those who are still struggling, I'm sure.
No, listen, we're all struggling. We're all in the same boat. It's not that I've reached some nirvana place
definitely,
yet. No.
Definitely. Every day is a new day, for sure.
It is, and it is. Like we said, there's Ruslan that'll happen. Hopefully, that'll do well. Hopefully, people around it, will find a little spark of happiness. And we all keep doing this. I feel like, as long as you are true to yourself and you have a little bit of love and kindness to give, and you come from a place of love for everybody and everything, you will be taken care of.
Yeah.
And right now we are a society of extremely busy people. There is so much always going on, and there is so much chatter within, because we are glued to our social medias or whatever. I'm not saying this is bad or that is bad or whatever, but you need to block yourself and take care of yourself. And rather than knowing what is happening all over the world, sometimes I really need to just shut it out and understand what is happening within is more important, and then work for that.
Yeah.
And there are tools that, we come from a land like India where there is the Ayurveda, the yoga is something that is there. It's our virasat. And I remember 20 years ago when I started practicing, everywhere I would go to do workshops, or if I'd go to do training, teacher training, this, that, I would not find a single Indian. All of those friends of mine were from all parts of the country, all countries all over the world. And it used to really bother me. I didn't have a brand to go and pick up a yoga mat from, like one of those ones that we have these days.
Right.
Of course, they're jute mats and stuff. That's what we started practicing on. Now, of course, it's wonderful that we're all, acknowledged it, and we're all actually doing something about it. But this is where I think going back to our roots is what really helps. And that is the one advice I would give. Again, connecting with nature is something that I did. If I went away somewhere and I would go watch the sunset, you don't understand the healing energies of the sun, or being in a forest, or being around water. We are made of the Panchadhatu, right? The 5 elements. They're all there around us to connect with. Only then you'll find the balance.
This didn't feel like an interview.
This felt like me giving yarn.
No, it just felt like a conversation that somebody wants to listen to. So I'm glad. Thank you once again. All the best. Ruslan is coming, guys. The new release, and Vidya is in it. So we wish her all the best.
Thank you.
You're always going to be our Vidya Sharma India.
Yeah, and also don't forget about Zeenat Kareem, because I think the the Gen Z.
The Gen Z, yes.
The Gen Z is into the mismatch.
Absolutely. So
Zeenat
Mismatch
Kareem.
season 3, right?
We've
Exciting
just finished filming it. And yes, you shall see it on Netflix super soon.
Lots to offer. Thank you so much once again.
Thank you very much for having me, Urmin.
Thank you guys for watching us on Bollywood Hungama.
Hey everyone, this is Vidya Malavade and you are watching me on Bollywood Hungama. Keep watching.